All right, welcome back. I guess it will be thematic here that you're going to find out that I do love my books. I love real books, and I think of books as my friends. So I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, I guess by proxy, Leo Tolstoy. Okay, actually, I'm not talking about the real Leo. I'm talking about a buddy of mine from school, and he's been a lifelong friend, actually. But I'm going to call him Leo, or Tolstoy, not his real name. And Leo and I met up at CU Boulder. By the way, we're picking up on this theme of thought partnership. And Leo was just, he was a cool guy. He was a smart guy. He was at the School of Environmental Design before anyone I'd never even heard or thought of the word environmental, much less a school focused on environmental design. And he went there. He wasn't really digging it. He'd gotten to other top schools. He wasn't really digging it. He left. He transferred to one of those just beautiful gem-like New England small colleges in the NESCAC. And Leo and I were always good buddies and intellectual sparring friends. So he went there, and he was a philosophy major like me, but he was also an econ major. At the next level, he came out. He worked down on Wall Street for 3 years, hated it, made some money, left, started a business in trading semiconductor chips, right before everybody even made sense of this. This story is going somewhere. And then he started a company, another kind of web-based, really brilliant company. And I was always like, how did this guy know how to so smartly make such bright moves and both do the Song of the Open Road in this compelling way? Because I'd get postcards from him in Prague or a beautiful photographer. So we get these photographs that were the postcards. Back in the day, you could do that. I don't know if you still can, but so I was like, how? And upon reflecting, and I never really have said so how the frick did you know that, you mensch? And he is a mensch, but I'm convinced that whether it was his brother or his mother, he had somebody with whom he was able to get just terrific counsel and thought partnership, and that they did not kind of clamp down his very kind of poetic and creative urges, but at the same time was how do we really kind of how do you make these moves and do it in a dynamic way? So for example, the adaptation, I backslided my business education, whereas Leo Tolstoy kind of did it all at once. It was like, boom, okay, I'm doing the philosophy, but I'm going to also do the econ. For me, with my own kids, the agreement has always been, and they're in their 20s now, the agreement's always been, go to college, get a great humanities education, learn to think, gather emotional intelligence, and put a few practical arrows in your quiver. So my request with both kids was, give me a couple econ, a couple math, maybe a stats class. So 5 classes, and the rest of your college education is your own, and we will happily pay for that. So this is just a further pitch for this notion of thought partnership. Now, last thing I'm going to say for today, which is that, I love my kids. I'm very open to who they are, and I want them to be authentic and shine their light. But I recognize that they haven't, but they may come to me with their sense of direction for their Song of the Open Road, and I may not be able to relate to it. And so in that case, I really won't be able to be a thought partner. And that's really what I want to kind of hit on here, which is not everyone, I'd say most young people, even if they have a good rapport with, the parent generation, my generation and older, your parents may not be able to be the optimal thought partner for you because whatever, they freak out, or it's just hard they worry. You have a kind of practical love for your children that you want them to emerge. So don't be hurt by that. Okay? That's if they can, if you're lucky like Leo, and that's luck or karma, or I think it's luck. Good on them. But for most of us, we really need to look around for who can we talk to? Who can we really kind of map this thing out? And again, when I say kind of map out, it's in a big, broad sense. We're talking more right brain than left brain, okay? Because again, I think in your 20s, you want to tick these boxes. You don't know in what order, and there's very little visibility. You kind of do something like, I knew I wanted to go to Naropa. What were the implications of that? I could only look out a little bit. Now, I wish I had had those conversations, so don't get me wrong. But we're thinking about this notion of thought partner, and I'm going to say criteria are someone who has a little worldly experience. That's okay. Someone, obviously, who shares your value set. Okay, and obviously the value set espoused here is a Thoreauian, or Whitman-esque, a non-materialistic approach. Okay, if money happens, that's fine. Of course, we need to pay the bills. But we can also kind of proceed in this way, in a way that actually is really skillful. Because if we don't do it, the practical side of things right, and that's going to be the next piece, if we don't do that right, then all this money and financial stuff is going to bite us anyway. It's going to steal our energy and our focus, and we're going to feel kind of oppressed and depressed. So let's do our Song of the Open Road, but let's also kind of carry with it some of the wisdom, and I think the way that we can gain that wisdom, I should say, is to find this thought partner, slight mentor, probably someone 5 to 15 years older than you. Okay, so you can fill in the rest in your criteria. I'm going to leave it there, and then we're going to kind of leave this concept of thought partner and go into what I think, some of the dialogue is, some of the practical elements that you may want to be thinking about and talking about with your people. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Hope this is helpful. See you soon.